What the f***? Okay, I didn't just use the word you thought I used, but I did use another word that's been kind of called a four-letter word here recently, and that's the word fat. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the fats that you can use while you're on the ketogenic diet that I use, so stick around. What's up, everybody? I just wanted to do a real quick video to kind of share some of the fats that you can use, that I use, that are just kind of a part of the ketogenic diet. This is not going to be an exhaustive list, and I also don't want to sound like I'm trumpeting one particular product over another. This is not about brands. I'm not trying to, I'm not a brand ambassador. I'm not being sponsored for any of this stuff. I'm not even an affiliate for any of this stuff at all. So again, these are just kind of foods in general that you can use as fats as you're going through your ketogenic diet. Some of these are things that I might use every day. Other ones are likely ones that I might use once a week or once a month. But generally, these are the ones that I keep around to use a lot. Again, there's lots of other ones out there, but I think you're going to find some usage out of these. So I'm just going to kind of dive in real quickly and talk about a few of these. And so some of the staples that I use all the time, eggs, right? I mean, these are loaded with good fats that I think you're going to want to use. And I eat them probably almost every single day, 3 to 4 eggs a day. Generally try to get organic or cage-free eggs like that. They're usually just better all around, not any antibiotics or things like that. So eggs, great choice to use. I use those a lot. And speaking of eggs, these types of, kind of real bacon, are things that I will use for a keto breakfast. In fact, I'll do a video on just a really simple, quick keto breakfast you can do, but this is plays a big part of it. For my morning coffees, I want to talk about MCT oil is something that you're probably either familiar with or you've heard a lot of people talk about. MCT oil is just one of those things that, again, can help you with your mind. It's really a pure oil, and so I will use, again, this is not just about a brand, but this is a chocolate-flavored MCT powder that actually has collagen in it as well. For those of you that like really sweet coffees, or, because, my wife uses those sweeteners. I used to use them a lot too, and so it's hard sometimes to go from something like that just to straight black coffee. I'm not a black coffee drinker. I've tried, I'm just not there yet. Maybe I will someday. But this really does help make a really good stand-in, just a scoop of this, as well as an actual MCT oil itself. I'll usually put maybe a half a tablespoon in of that, along with a scoop of this, blend it up really good, and it makes for a really great and satiating coffee. To do it, here's another staple, butter, right? And so you want to try to stick to a grass-fed butter as much as you can. Again, not trying to endorse a brand. This is just one that I use. A lot of this stuff you're going to notice probably comes from Costco. Easy stuff to buy. It lasts a long time because the quantities are a lot. And generally speaking, for the amount that you get, the prices are going to be a little bit lower because we know that some of this stuff can be a little expensive. But yeah, breakfast with this, cooking some eggs in this and some bacon stuff is fantastic. And again, whether it's baking or other stuff, use this a lot. When it comes to things like oil itself, right? Coconut oil is something that I use a lot for various things. So I will sometimes cook in this, but one of the things I use this primarily for are things like fat bombs. And I will do a recipe on a really easy fat bomb recipe that you can have. And again, that's just to help get your macros right. I know a lot of people struggle with getting fats into their diet, and so fat bombs can be a really quick and easy way to do that. Things like nut butters, right? I generally try to avoid peanut butters just because if you look them up, I think they're a little bit higher on the glycemic index than other ones. So I just kind of steer away from them. But by and large, going to things like almond butter or sunflower oil, sunflower seed butter is another good one that you can use. Since we're on kind of a topic of nuts here, I guess we could talk about, almonds are obviously a really good source of fats. And this one, though, is probably my staple, macadamia nuts. This one is one that I will actually keep a small little container in my backpack that I take with me to work and keep a container up there at any time. That way, if I start, I'm not a big advocate of snacking because you want to try to give your blood sugars a chance to go down and stay down for an extended period of time. But during those occasions where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just really hungry, I need to eat something, having containers of these things or types of things like this in here are great and will help keep you kind of sustained and satiated throughout the rest of your day. And since we're kind of on the topic of snacking a little bit. Things like this, pork rinds, again, got these at Costco as well, but there are other brands that you can look into, but these are fantastic. No carb options here, and they really do help give you that crunch. I'm going to tell you right now, being on the ketogenic diet, sometimes you can feel like you don't have a lot of crunch. This will help with that. Let's see. Another kind of snacky type of thing, if you're going to sit around and just need to kind of have a couple hundred calories because you're feeling it, are sardines. You got to be really careful with these. They're fantastic. Most people will advocate getting them in water. These are actually in olive oil. Be very careful if you end up getting these in oil. Olive oil is great. Olive oil is fantastic. In fact, I should have had that out here as another fat to use. Get these in olive oil. A lot of these will come with soy oil or palm oil or other really bad, poor quality oils. If you're going to get these in oil, make sure it's in olive oil. And speaking of oils, again, just a real quick side note on two other oils. I don't have them out here, but two others that I use. One is avocado oil. I use that one to cook a lot in because it has a very high smoke point, so you can cook with it without having to worry about it smoking up at a really low temperature and damaging the qualities of the oil. So avocado oil is another good choice. And then olive oil. Olive oil is just one that's been around, of course, we know for millennia. Fantastic oil, but it is a delicate oil. That's one that you might want to sprinkle onto maybe a salad or brush it onto. Some of the ways that I'll use it is if I'm going to have salmon, sometimes I'll brush a little bit on top of salmon, even though salmon's an oily fish. I will put it on there, and it adds a lot to the salmon as well. Speaking of salmon, I have this out here because it's great to have, kind of canned options, but honestly, fresh salmon is going to be your best bet. Another thing that I found recently is these hemp hearts. These are not only great, I mean, you can sit here and look, they're very calorie dense, so you have to be careful. You don't want to just pour a cup of these onto something. But they are very high in polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats as well. And then last but not least is the standby avocado. I'm going to tell you right now, I will probably eat one of these a day, sometimes more. The amount, these are high in potassium as well. They're a great source of vitamins, trace minerals, and just a really good source of healthy fat. Now, I know there are some people that don't really care about avocados that much. I'll tell you, try to change it up a little bit. Maybe not just eat it raw or not plain. Try throwing a little bit of like Himalayan salt in there, maybe a little bit of lime, some cilantro, make it into a little bit more of a guacamole. Maybe put a tablespoon or two of salsa in to give it a little bit of extra flavor. But I'm telling you, try to find a way to see if you can't make this in a way that you like it, because I'm telling you, this is a very easy way, very healthy way of getting your fat content up. So again, this is not an exhaustive list, and there's a ton of other ones out there, but these are ones that I use on at least a weekly basis, and some of them daily. And so if you have trouble getting your fats in, maybe look at some of the ones that you haven't looked at before, or ones that you haven't explored before. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to hop over, maybe consider subscribing, give a like to the video. Also consider dropping a comment below. I'd love to be able to engage in some conversation with you, answer any questions that you might have. And other than that, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for watching the video today. And until next time, take care.